Edward Bear, better known to generations of children as Winnie the Pooh, is, as you all know, the resident philosopher of Pooh Corner. Among my favorite memories as a young child is snuggling into bed with my father on Saturday mornings for him to read me one of A.A. Milne's Pooh stories. My father sometimes laughed so hard he cried. To a 6-year-old boy, such parental abandon is pure bliss. Because Pooh's dearest friend Piglet is such a timorous soul, fear is a major theme in Winnie the Pooh and its sequel, The House at Pooh Corner. Worry, for example. Pooh and Piglet's hunt for a woozle illustrates Worry's logic to a T. Walking around a huge tree, Pooh looks down to discover a pair of tracks before him, indicating perhaps the presence of a woozle. He follows these tracks only to discover, upon circling the tree, that a second creature has joined the first. The scent of growing danger both attracts and alarms Piglet, who, reluctant though curious, joins Pooh in his quest. When he does, the beasts they are following multiply. Do you see, Piglet? Look at their tracks. 3, as it were, woozles, and 1, as it was, Whizzle. Another woozle has joined them. This revelation and the peril it represents is too much for Piglet, who suddenly remembers that he has some pressing errand to run and hightails it home, very glad to be out of all danger again. On another occasion, Pooh and Piglet manage to trap themselves in a pit they have dug in which to capture a heffalump. Should they now lure this terror of their imagination into the pit, the dread beast would instead capture them. What happens when the heffalump comes? Piglet asks. Pooh may be a bear of very little brain, but he always applies what mind he has to constructive problem solving. Do what you can is Pooh's mantra. So to Piglet's great encouragement, Pooh hatches a plan. If a heffalump should chance along, the two of them would say, "Ho, ho!" Should this jaunty display of pluck fail to neutralize the heffalump, should he respond, say, with a ho-ho of his own, Pooh would then hum. Confused by so nonchalant a response to his fearsomeness, the heffalump could not help but doubt his power. Pooh then would be in the position triumphantly to point out that rather than the heffalump having captured them, the poor beast had instead fallen into a trap built by them expressly to capture him, which indeed it was. Rather than fear mastering them, they would master it. "Pooh, you saved us," Piglet squeaks, launching into a heroic reverie in which, having cowed the dread heffalump by humming, Piglet himself has become a profile in courage. My father's favorite chapter in Winnie the Pooh was the story of Eeyore's birthday. Eeyore is a donkey who is subject to depression, forever pessimistic and forlorn. As if to compound his misery, Pooh and Piglet each independently botch the presents they had intended to give him for his birthday. Running to make sure that he is not late for the party, Piglet trips, falling on the balloon he was bringing to Eeyore and bursting it. Upon receiving the balloon's remains, a small piece of damp rag, Eeyore inquires as to what this curious gift might be. "A balloon," Piglet improbably suggests. "Balloon?" says Eeyore. "You did say balloon. One of those big colored things you blow up? Gaiety and song and dance. Here we are and there we are." Upon discovering that the balloon was red, Eeyore's favorite color, and had once been about the size of Piglet, Eeyore's favorite size. The woebegone donkey feels almost as miserable as Piglet himself. Then Pooh comes along with his gift, a jar of honey, which on his way to Eeyore's party in a moment of self-forgetting abandon, Pooh ate. Wishing Eeyore many happy returns of the day, Pooh sheepishly presents him with a useful empty pot in which to put things. Animated by an unaccustomed shiver of excitement, Eeyore declares, "I believe my balloon will just go into that pot." "Oh no," Eeyore, Pooh protests, starting to explain that a balloon is much too large to fit into a pot. "Not mine." Before long, Eeyore is taking the balloon out and putting it back in, as happy as could be. These two truly pathetic birthday presents might easily have reinforced Eeyore's fatalism. Instead, they bring him unexpected satisfaction. Opening the present, he finds himself wanting what he has. Certainly, we all have a full plate of worries, both economic and personal, this particular summer. More than enough to nibble on all day if we are so minded. A plate full of wants, of things we don't have, to preoccupy our minds, to lead us into the thraldom of self-consciousness. Since I've been ill, wanting what I have has been more than a useful trick of mind. It's been my bridge to consciousness. I remind myself daily of so many things that before I too often took for granted. My loved ones, all of you, and the miracle of life itself, which flows into every inner bay we refuse to fill with self-circulating, roiling, yet stagnant waters. To want what you have may strike you as redundant, unnecessary. Why shouldn't we want more than we have? What's wrong with that? Nothing, really. Unless dreaming impossible dreams or even obsessing on achievable wants squeezes out our daily quotient of gratitude. When it does, we lose deep and due appreciation for the things we do have, things we would miss so desperately were they to be taken from us. So much petitionary prayer, for instance, we dedicate to filling a seemingly half-full cup at the expense of appreciating what is likely a much more than half-full one.